channel John Domenico.
We're ready to educate people.
It's about the good, the bad, and the ugly. No bullshit. The real deal.
Hey guys, I'm Sam, and today we're back with another episode of The Real Deal.
I'm Nick.
I'm Naz.
And today we have...
Mason from Keller Williams.
Welcome, Mason.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks for coming on.
So this one is one I'm kind of excited about just because Mason's super young and it's really inspiring. I got started in the business when I was 18 years old, so I love when I see the younger generation bringing that forward. So Mason, maybe you can open it up and tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started and why real estate.
Yeah, 100%. So just tell you a little bit of background, like way back. So I started boxing at the age of 4. Been doing that up until I was 18 pretty much. Up until that point, I got into university for health sciences, decided not to go. Because in the summer leading up into university for my first year, I was learning how to become a barber just to make some extra cash while being in school type of thing. At that time, I was like, hey, fuck university, I'm not going. It's kind of like a scam in my opinion, especially like, what am I going to do with health sciences, right? Mm-hmm. Can't get rich off of that. So then I decided to just be in the barbershop full time, making good money at the age, a lot of cash money, so it was nice. But then I'm putting in all these hours, working 60 hours a week, and I'm like, okay, I'm leaving with maybe $2,000 of them, if I'm lucky, a week, which is nothing really, when you really think about it. So I got more money hungry. I'd come home, complain to my dad, to be like, hey, listen, man, I need something bigger, I need something better. So he said, why don't you just get your real estate license? So that's when I took the course, and COVID happened, so I was in and out of the barbershop through the lockdowns and stuff like that. Then just got right into real estate. The first 6 months were rocky. It was me just twiddling my thumbs, figuring out how to run my business. But then once I started to get some momentum going, it went really well. Did a little bit of luxury, a little bit of pre-con, did a little bit of first-time home buyer stuff. And now I've been entering into the land development side. Yeah.
It's a whole different game.
Yeah.
That's an awesome story. And your father's in the business as well?
Yeah, so he's been in the business for about 4 years. So we're both actually pretty new, compared to most other realtors.
How long have you been licensed now?
About 1.5 years.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. So
wait, your father's only been in 4.5 years?
Yeah, less. I think just about
Wow.
4 years.
4 years,
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're both pretty new, but we go to 0 to 100. We're both very obsessive people.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we bounce off of each other. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you need that environment, I think, to really grow. So I'm sure your dad's
100%.
expertise kind of led the way a little bit.
Exactly.
Definitely
Yeah.
helped.
Yeah.
So now that you've got some experience with the basic stuff, what's the next move for you? You mentioned land development, but
Yeah.
I know I'm intrigued, so I want to hear a little bit more of how you're working on that.
Yeah,
right
so
now.
I've been surrounding myself around a lot of great people.
Mm-hmm.
So got really close with a couple of big developers, not big names like Mattamy and stuff like that, but the low-key guys with just as much money, which is great. So they've been really fortunate enough to been working with me really close. I'm one of 2 guys that one of the developers works with, which is great. So they'll even give me a PIN number on Geo, say go for this property, and that's what I do.
Yeah.
I work with another realtor, so we go for land assemblies together, or someone like Green Park or Urban Capital or something like that will say, okay, we want this block, and then we'll go after it, approach all the landowners. That takes a long time. It'll take like months, if not years, for something to come to fruition. But I got really passionate about that. So now that's at least 6 hours out of the 10 hours of my day are geared towards that.
Yeah.
100%.
So obviously that takes a lot of trust, connections,
Yeah.
And just maintaining that. So
Yeah.
maybe you can tell us some of the ways you've been able to maintain that and stand out in your business
Yeah.
to get that level, that quality of
Yeah,
deals,
so
right?
there's a big thing around like the whole shiny object syndrome, right? Where like you find something new and shiny, you want to go after it.
Mm-hmm.
I like to take my time when it comes to stuff like that. Reason being is I got a small handful of really high quality people around me. Stuff isn't necessarily making me money right now, but there's stuff coming down the pipeline, or something's gonna be happening one way or another,
Bigger
like
picture.
soon, right? So I just really stick to those people. I follow up with them every day. I talk to them every day. I'm building the relationship, even though there's not necessarily a deal or an opportunity on hand that we're looking at together. I'll still give them a call, because the more we're nurturing and getting closer together, the more business is gonna be had in the coming years.
Yeah, of course.
Right? So in the long run, if you do like a $50 million deal, $100 million deal, but it took like 2 years for it to happen, but all it was you building a friendship that you also want to be a part of.
Worth the
It's a
time.
win-win scenario,
Yeah,
right? So
absolutely.
that's what I kind of go for. I don't try to approach hundreds of different developers and try to just get something done and whore around a project. If my guys don't like it, maybe I'll flip it to a couple other people, but it's just quality over quantity for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that, quality over quantity.
Yeah.
That's one thing I learned when I first got started.
Yeah.
So that's a great mindset to have. So what are some of the things maybe you do on a daily basis to keep up this strong mindset that you possess and
Oh,
you're
man.
bringing forward?
Yeah, so
Give us some of these tips and tricks.
It's tough, yeah, it's tough. I mean, you have your rough days, right? But I'm really big on wellness for the most part. So I have like a whole morning routine. I do the whole like wake up, meditate, affirmations, visualization. I have a whole vision board that I sit in front of every morning. It's got like a bunch of pictures of kind of like the aesthetic I want my future to be, and also all my affirmations. So I go through those, 5-minute journal, then try to work out every morning. Sometimes I don't, but that's usually what I go for. It preps my day. If I don't do that, I find I'm like half-assing the entire day.
You're not ready for your day.
Yeah, exactly. So I try to get that stuff done, even if it's gonna be like 8 o'clock, a little bit later on in the day. I just have to get it done before.
Yeah, I think that goes
Yeah.
back to the importance of keeping a personal system and then a system for your business as well that works for you.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe you guys have some questions. I'm taking over the mic today
No,
because I'm
it's good, it's good.
super interested. I like
So-
love the land
so you-
development side of the
Yeah,
business.
no, land
so
development
yeah.
is cool. You mentioned that you started with residential and you I guess transitioned
Yep.
or found your niche in,
Yep.
in commercial, specifically land development. So what triggered you to I guess go from residential to just commercial?
Yeah, so I was working on a deal in St. Catharines with a pretty big developer out in that area. They do a lot of business out in the world and stuff like that. And we were like, this close is actually the stuff that I was sending you, that mid-rise project.
That's the site. Yeah, I know that's
Exactly. And we were like, we were like this close to getting it done, and then ego and pride came in the way, so that fell apart. But me being this close to making $250,000 or however much money I was gonna make, to me at my age, being 21, I was like, it's pretty good. Imagine if I get about 10 of those, at least one of them's gonna stick, right? So that's kind of what made the decision. And then I got really close with one of my buddies. We got really, really tight, and he's a big developer. He's a guy that I go out for projects with. So that's what's kind of pushed me into that direction. So now, for example, I have a deal with an extremely big developer. It's still conditional, and it firms up on May 5th. But that one right there is 16.4. I'm working on another one. Just did a huge offer out in Toronto for 42.
That's cool.
That one, we'll see. We're probably gonna revisit it like late April, but just there's so much coming at me, so I get high talking about it because when it does happen, it'll be big, right?
I think you actually have to picture yourself and see yourself with that win.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
from now and go forward with it.
Exactly.
And like I know that's what I possess in my business, and like when I did a land deal a couple years back, and it was like still one of my biggest deals to date, which we're getting there. But that it is a high. It is honestly, it's just like I'm able to do this, bring this person to this point, and capitalize out on their investment, and then to see what they're gonna do with that land next year, 10 years down the line.
Exactly.
It's like you had a big influence on that. which is
100%.
awesome.
And then
Yeah.
for you sell fucking 50 homes in Hamilton, you're not even gonna make half the amount of money.
But
for
you
doing
can
one
put
big development.
more effort into focusing on one or
Exactly.
two clients and blow it out of the park,
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
So it's the caliber of clientele and the quality of clientele,
Yeah.
and obviously the market you're pushing towards
Yeah.
is much different.
I look at it like this. We all have 24 hours in our day. 24 hour or 16 hours of your day wants to be geared towards selling little homes in Hamilton. Amazing. It's a great business. But if you want to be going into a different realm, if you have that opportunity, then why wouldn't you?
But that goes back to the mindset.
Exactly. It's all a mindset thing. I'm going
all
after the
mindset.
biggest guys when I you know
Like
what I mean?
even in my game, so like I like resale residential, yes, but I want to get $2 million plus
Exactly,
listings at
yeah.
all times.
Yeah.
It's a whole different ball game.
100%.
Like taking on a $500,000 condo and taking on something $2 million plus. Even when you present yourself to a client, that's
Yeah.
why I'm asking all these questions. You need to walk the part and talk the talk,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So,
And the only way to do it is for you just step your foot in that door.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
it. You just have to make that first step, and then you can play ball from
Which
there.
goes again back to the mindset, back to having that
Yeah.
confidence to even
Yeah.
open your mouth and say, "This is who I am, and this is what I can do for you to begin
Exactly.
with." Right?
Exactly.
So
I think going back to mindset though, and what you guys what you guys both mentioned, I think a lot of realtors think about it differently than us.
Yeah, yeah.
You have the realtors that do focus on the smaller deals because they want that quantity over the quality.
Yeah.
yeah.
And some unfortunately need now money, right?
Yeah.
Compared to these longer term, bigger
Yeah.
picture deals, which do take time,
Yeah.
sometimes years. I mean,
Yeah.
but it is very rewarding, right?
100%.
So I think having well, having that balance or that niche
Yeah.
is very important. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
And
also,
I think you do need some of those,
Yeah.
now ones just to
Yeah,
sustain.
100%. Yeah,
I was just about to say,
100%.
I'm sure you have that
100%.
balance in your business
Yeah.
too, right? Like
Yeah,
you're still
exactly.
doing resale residential transactions. Someone called you to do a buy or a
Yeah.
sell of some sort. You'll service your clientele because
Exactly, yeah.
you're good at that's what you
100%.
do at the end of the day.
Yeah, like
right?
I have a real estate coach, Marianne Gillespie. She's absolutely fantastic. She definitely puts me through the ringer because when she's coaching me mainly on the residential side, but a quarter of my day is only focused on the residential, right? So
Yeah.
now I should be splitting up 50-50 at least because the market's picking up a lot right
Yeah.
now. But even she says, still do the residential. There's nothing wrong with it as long as you can break up your time properly. So that's one thing I need to get better on is being a little bit more purposeful with my day because sometimes
Balance.
I'll be looking at certain projects. So I'm like, it's a waste of my time. Like, focus on those ones, on the quality, right?
Yeah. I know we all get caught up in that.
Yeah,
We focus on the
exactly.
clients that we think are going to bring us or something that they ask us to take a look at. Meanwhile, you have other people
Yeah.
on the back burner. But yeah, like rentals, resale, all these things bring in that extra, I call
Yeah.
it part-time cash flow. I'm like,
Yeah, exactly.
realtors can work full-time, but then do rentals part-time
Yeah.
and do all these other things.
Yeah.
It's just that bread and butter, that
Yeah.
extra side. Yeah.
And as us all being young realtors, you need to kind of dip your hands into everything, in my opinion.
I agree.
Just get a taste
I
for
agree,
it,
I
right?
agree.
If you could be experienced and be an expert in at least
I have
a
commercial
little bit of
listings up
everything.
right now, and
Exactly.
I'm learning. Nick's teaching me, guiding me through the way.
Exactly.
Well, and I'm sort of the reverse, right? I've only known commercial,
Yeah.
and that's all I've done from the get-go. Like
Yeah.
I used to be in corporate real estate, so it's just been commercial. So I haven't really dipped too much in residential,
Yeah.
but now, learning from the team and these
Slowly,
guys,
yeah.
slowly, I'm like the reverse.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's still, like you said, because we're so young, it's good to get, your hands in all these different aspects, even of the industry in general, just not on the agent side, right?
Oh, 100%.
Even if you want it to be, investment opportunity or
Exactly.
development side of things,
Exactly.
construction side of things, it's definitely good
100%.
to
I think
to
being
check
young
out
in this
all-
business is an advantage. That's
Yeah.
what I see.
100%,
You,
yeah.
the fact that you started at the age that you did, is going to open so many doors for the rest of your life.
Oh,
Like,
100%.
I've seen that, and I'm talking from personal experience. Like this is 5 years for me, and like the amount of experience I have, I'm not even 25 yet.
Yeah.
It's just like
It's mind-blowing.
People are like, "Oh no, you're like 28 years old, right?" I'm like, "No, I still smell like milk." Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
like I just
exactly.
moved out of my mom's house. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, totally. And that goes back to, again, being equipped and having that mindset and doing things every single day that
Yeah.
are going to contribute to that bigger picture.
Yeah, I agree. I think being younger is definitely a superpower. I didn't think that in the beginning. It took me a while to get that confidence.
Yeah.
But once I had it, I was like, holy shit. If anything, it's better because we don't have kids. We don't have any
You
commitments.
can work 24 hours a day.
24 hours a day. We're hungry. We want to get the results for our clients. We have to build up our business. So if anything, we're the ideal people to be working with, right?
And you know what? I've gotten that feedback from a lot of my top clients
Yeah.
lately. I have one really good client, and he said to me, he goes, "I'd rather work with you, someone your age, because you will work for me 24 hours out of the day.
Yeah.
If I work with someone my age with 3 kids, like when are they calling me back?"
Yeah.
He's like, I don't even have to. He's like, I call you if you miss it, like 3 seconds later. He's like, I can't even believe it.
Yeah.
So I 100% agree with that. Like a lot of the times, people assume it's negative to work with a young person when I see quite the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. As
We
long
have
as you
less
have the knowledge.
responsibilities on our personal
Yeah.
end, which means more time for you.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I think there's definitely pros and cons for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now that the way our
Yeah.
world is moving towards, I think you are in better hands when you're working with someone who can service you 24 hours of the day, right? Which
yeah, and
goes
I
back to
agree.
generation, right? Because
I-
right now we are the ones who can do that.
I think if you go back in the day, it was a lot harder for someone our age to do really well. Reason being is because they don't have the same access to information, to education as we do now.
That too.
Right? Everything's like a Google search away to become knowledgeable.
You don't need to go to university.
Yeah, you don't
You
need
can
any
learn
of
it
that
all on
shit.
Google
Yeah.
in 3 days, I'm
Exactly.
sure.
Exactly.
Well, I think the reality is university doesn't teach you
No.
a lot.
It's the life skills
I think
that you
yeah,
need.
life
Yeah.
skills.
Yeah.
They don't teach
Yeah.
you about taxes. Or,
Yeah.
But neither,
Exactly.
neither does the educational system, which
Yeah,
is
I
so
know, I
corrupt
know.
because it's like,
That's-
how do you get a
that's,
mortgage? How do you even pay bills?
Yeah.
Like people don't know. Like
What is a mortgage?
yeah,
Yeah.
like,
I know.
people
I know.
don't know this. Like a lot of my first time home buyers, like they're coming in blind, and I know we all have experience with this, where it's like you're holding their hand from A to Z, and sometimes I have older generation too.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, totally.
If they made a course about, like life stuff, life insurance policies
Like
and
the
all that
basics
stuff.
of
The
life.
basics of life, I would probably take it, to be honest with you. But they don't, because why? They
and
want
you're
everyone
like
to
beyond that
Likewise.
level. You don't even need it. There's
Yeah.
people way beyond us who
Yeah.
need that course, like who are struggling because of that. Like,
Exactly, yeah.
Simple life skills.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah, university I think is geared towards not to shit talk anybody.
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
9 to 5ers. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
It's true.
that's what it's geared.
I have a
geared-
degree.
geared
I
towards.
regret it every single day, like you said. It's
Yeah.
a waste of money. I could have bought a property for the 40K
Yeah.
we spent for the degree.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, the world has so many opportunities, and it's up to us to use what we can and do what we can next. Like
Exactly.
you said, right? You
Yeah.
don't need a degree to open doors
Yeah.
anymore.
And when you look at it this way, like every employee, if you make 100,000, how much do you really keep? You know what I mean? But if you make 100,000 and you're incorporated, or you have or you run a business or something, you can keep a lot more, right? So the whole system's geared towards keeping employees always employees, right? So that's why
Yeah.
that's why I don't think university is the best choice unless you're gonna become an engineer or a doctor, or you,
Yeah,
you need a certification to get to that point.
Exactly.
you
Yeah,
see?
exactly.
Yeah.
Listen, I think it's not for everyone for sure.
Yeah,
I 100%
exactly.
agree. There's
Yeah.
some people who do extremely well with the education background.
100%.
Great, fantastic.
And obviously, there's some professions that you 100% need to go to school for. So yes, we need the school system, but at the same time, there's pros and cons. Right?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, you just have to
100%.
choose wisely your program. Yeah.
You have to choose what's right for you. Like health sciences, I don't think I could see you in health
No. Oh
sciences.
my God,
to be
no.
quite honest.
God no.
Yeah.
one thing I always learned too, went back to talking about being young in this business and having things go extremely well, like yourself, Sam, Naz, is work hard now, play later.
Yeah,
That's been
yeah.
that's been
Yeah.
my motto, and
Yeah.
my father embedded that in my mind, and just looking at the average people our age out there, what are they doing at this age?
They're going to Trappers on a Wednesday, you know.
We're over here working 15-hour days. Like I
Yeah,
don't know about
yeah.
anything else but
Literally.
that.
And you know what? It's funny because my first 6 months of where I was twiddling my thumbs trying to figure out how to run my business, I was still doing all that stuff. I was still living the uni life, except without being in university. But once my business started to, go up a little bit, I was like, holy shit, there's no way I can A, keep this lifestyle up, and B, party with people who are just not on the same mindset.
Yeah.
So now when I go out, I'm going out to Toronto, and it's either I'm with my developers at a very specific type of location,
Business-based.
right? Or I'm around like-minded individuals who all have different businesses, but eventually, one way or another, we're all gonna collaborate on something, right? So
100%.
now it's more purposeful about going out instead of just getting drunk at Trappers and Guelph. You know what I mean? It's very different.
If I gotta dress up and go out, there better be some monetary value. Maybe not
Oh,
this year, but in
100%.
10 years from now, there better be
Yeah.
a benefit for me.
100%.
Okay.
Like I was at Mademoiselle last weekend, and right there and then I saw 3 smaller developers, but still I saw 3 developers that I know.
It's
we
just
hit
the
it
face,
off. Yeah,
that's it.
Exactly. And the best time you're gonna make a relationship is when you guys are having a drink or eating food
Relax.
across the
It's
table.
true. It's
right?
true.
Chill. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the best time to build a relationship.
Yeah. So true. Okay, well, I'm gonna ask my favorite question of the day.
Yeah. Let me hear it.
So after
Drum roll, please.
after we had this awesome conversation, Mason, what makes you the real deal?
Man, I think it's just I'm obsessive about getting good results, and just becoming the best version of myself I can be. So that goes into my business as well, right? So when it comes to doing land deals, before I kind of hum and haw, know a little bit what I'm talking about, but now if I'm fucking presenting something, you damn straight know that I know 100%
Confidence.
of what I'm talking about, right?
Bring it to
So
the table.
that's what makes me the real deal is I'm authentic in what I do, and the shit I do is 100% true.
No, but I like that. Like even right now here, we can tell like this is who you are,
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
gonna bring it anywhere you go.
Yeah,
right? And
exactly.
That's that authenticity that should attract everyone,
Yep.
right? And if you're gonna be in this business, this is the model.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Even us, like I know all of us are so transparent. It's like insane the way we
Yeah,
talk
no,
to
I
each
know.
other in the office.
Everyone in
like,
this room has their own character,
Like
but I
we're
guess
just like,
yeah.
hey, fuck you, and like literally, I had my client tell me last week to fuck off from across the driveway, and
exactly.
we started pissing ourselves after. But like, you need to be that personality. You
yeah.
need to have that thick skin
Yeah.
to be able to work with everyone.
Exactly.
That's it. Yeah.
And this is the way I look at it. If you're your authentic self, people that don't want to work with you are people you're not going to want to work with anyways, right? So
Exactly.
So fuck them. Like God bless them. They can go work with whoever they want,
Mm-hmm.
someone that they might collaborate better with. But we all have different characteristics and different personalities. We're all going to attract very different people. But guess what? It's better for us that way anyways. There's
Yeah.
enough business to be had for all the realtors in Ontario, except
100%.
You know,
If you're willing to work for it and go after it,
yeah.
we can all be friends. There's a community here, and everyone makes money together.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, you work hard, you get the results.
Yeah.
That's the bottom
Put in
line.
what you
Yeah.
get. You're gonna get in. What is it? Put
Exactly.
in, get out what you put in, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Any more questions for our friend Mason here?
No, you're
very, very impressive.
You're not speechless this whole
Naz was
time.
speechless the whole
20. This is silence for.
I was.
Naz is usually the one that talks the
He
most.
takes
was
over. I'm like
listening.
usually sitting in the corner.
I was
So the
listening
fact that
to
you
it.
made him speechless this pod is
Pretty impressive.
yeah.
The quietest one's always the wisest one. They say.
I'm the one with the most gray hair. That's what makes me the wisest one. Listen, I got my license at 18.
Yeah.
I have had my license for 10, like I'm going on 10 years,
Yeah.
right? It's very impressive to see somebody who's in the business a year and a half doing the things you're doing,
Thank you.
right? I guess before we go, the one question is to ask is for somebody who's new in the industry that wants to get into a niche, doesn't have to be your niche, but a niche, and wants to access people that they don't think they have access to. How do they do it?
Oh man, it's honestly such a simple answer. It's LinkedIn.
Really?
LinkedIn is amazing.
And that's okay. If
Yeah.
that's the answer, that's good.
Yeah, like for example, if you want to go in the commercial realm, go on LinkedIn. If you want to go on a different type of niche, like let's say luxury, you have to go where that niche is, right? So everyone in the commercial realm is on LinkedIn. That's just a fact. Everyone who's in the luxury realm is at Mississauga Country Golf Club, right? There are all these different
Kleinberg,
clubs,
all
right?
these places.
Exactly. So that's
Country
where
club.
they're eating at Yorkville. They're going to they're putting themselves in a certain environment or a certain platform. So that's where you have to go, right? If you want to be a first-time home buyer, then you should be hosting first-time home buyer seminars so you can attract them, right? If you don't think you can get in front of them, get them to come in front of you.
Figure it out.
Right? Yeah, exactly. There's always a way to do it.
There's always way networking events,
Yeah.
parties. So I go to weddings. I give out my business card.
Weddings is a good spot. That is for sure.
Like
Yeah.
I go everywhere. Just give your card to
Yeah.
anybody.
100%.
I say follow me on Instagram. I don't even care.
Yeah.
Like-
and then another thing for someone new is host like a. I didn't do this. I wish I did. I actually still might do it. It's like a career launch party. So
That's a
invite
good
everyone in your
idea.
sphere of influence. Rent out a banquet hall or like a nice outdoor venue in the
you just
summertime.
gave that idea to everybody watching.
Exactly.
You should
They-
keep that here.
and then they do it. They say, okay, this is my career launch party. You know, everyone charges like $10 to go, and it's open bar or something, right? And you know, you do like a raffle or something like that, and then you say a quick little speech. You offer, some quick infographics and stuff like that, and you're good for the day. And right there and then, that's a whole database of people.
Very cool. Yeah, I've
Right?
seen some
you go.
cool mixers.
Yeah.
Like lots of different
Yeah.
stuff out there these days.
Exactly.
I think it's all about getting creative, being different, and finding a way to stand out that other people aren't doing.
Yeah.
You got to be the 1%. That's it.
100%. And then I would say the third one would be doing charity events. Those are huge. So for
Huge.
example, because I'm very passionate about boxing from back in the day, not anymore, but if I plan on doing this eventually, is hosting an extremely large charity boxing event, like a fight night.
I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
down,
There we go.
I'm down.
Everyone loves to watch a fight, especially when
Yeah.
it's not professionals, because it's hilarious to watch. Everyone puts a little bit of money. It's going
cause.
towards a great cause. You go up, you say a couple speeches. You have sponsors like, for example, Fernbrook Madame. You try to get them to be a sponsor. It looks great on their resume as well. That's another great way to do it, right?
Yeah, great idea.
Yeah, you just have to get creative. You got to think outside the box. It's not always going to be cold calling, right?
So yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Different ways, cold calling, door knocking, the traditional stuff works, and that's what we preach here at our
Yeah,
team. But at the same
100%.
time, you have to be different, and
Yeah.
you have to offer something everyone else.
Yeah,
isn't
you
offering.
got to have, like what my dad says and a bunch of other people, you got to have 3 pillars, right? So if cold calling and door knocking would be your pillars, what's going to be the third one?
This is what I took from your dad's podcast.
Exactly. It's true. It's
Yeah, it's
so
so
true.
true.
You got to have different ways to get your
Yeah.
business, right? And my favorite's face-to-face, because that's the best way you're going to connect with someone.
Yeah.
I go on at least 4 lunches or dinners a week with different people.
I love being face to
Yeah.
face. Like I find things to do outside of the office. Like I
Exactly.
find people to meet during
Yeah.
the day some
Yeah.
days because it's like today I'm having coffee from someone I went to high school with years ago.
Exactly.
It's like just find people to sit in front of. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's how you're gonna make
And
money.
even
I
if you're not going to
guarantee
do
it.
business with that person, well, guess what? They're going to promote your business
They're
or
gonna
they're
tell
refer you to someone.
their parents, their brother,
Yeah.
their sister, their friend, and they're gonna say, "Use Sam,
Yeah.
call Mason, call Nick, call Naz."
Yeah.
It's
One client
community,
is
right?
always going to be another 4 in the future minimum, is what I say.
That
Yeah.
well said.
Yeah.
Good place to end. Strong place to end. Okay, awesome. Well, Mason, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And I think this is going to be a good one.
I
I'm
appreciate it, guys.
excited.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. We
And that's the
appreciate
real
it.
deal.
That's the real deal.